It didn't even give me the option to put a title or anything down. Let's see what this looks like. Is it going? Okay, so it's going live and it kicked you. I don't even know what I'm doing. Did it kick you?
Okay. I've got all the buttons.
All right, we are live and yeah, I'm butchering this. And I was expecting it to be butchered. And some people may say, I'm just gonna call it for what it is. Some people may say, well, why wouldn't you just record it and then go live? Because such is life. I'm gonna
Right.
try different things. I'm gonna see what works and what doesn't. And sometimes I like being the guinea pig for other people.
Exactly.
Yeah, I ultimately say the worst thing that can happen is you feel embarrassed about something, but someone else attempts to try or not try and say, "Oh, well, I don't want to be that." So anyway, what I wanted to cover today was entrepreneurs getting their time back, figuring out how to get their time back. And I wanted Mama Misty to share her story because she's been with me for a while, going through her process and learning the lessons along the way. So I really like talking about like where a person's been, where they're at, and where they're going. And then at the end we can do like, okay, what's the biggest time hack you've gone on your journey, you've developed on your journey as you've gone through your process. So let's start from the beginning. Let's start. So where you've been.
Oh my goodness. Where have I not been? I grew up in Tennessee, born and raised in Clarksville, Tennessee, and um, life was not easy growing up, but it taught me so many skills that I need now that I can't regret it. Um, Life at home wasn't always fun. So I fell in love with going to school because it was kind of my happy place. And that has suited me well in my adult years because now I am a learning machine. I could go to school the rest of my life and keep learning. Um, I feel like every negative has a positive that you learn. And if you just run with the positive and let the negative part go, then, you know, it's going to suit you much better.
Yeah, I love it. And also, I completely forgot because what's super important, why you should even be listening to myself and her. Uh, I've been a fighter in the UFC. I've been a coach, a consultant, business owner. Mama Misty, I call her the queen of the oils because you're very, very knowledgeable in oils and helping people get to their success. It was super, super scary. Um, One skill she has is the ability, and I don't know how much trouble I can get for saying this, so I will be very, very careful with this. But you have an ability to help people with their longevity, I would say, because you focus on health. You focus on helping people get as healthy as possible. And what's so important is why why wait to be in a lot of pain where you can actually be healthy way before that. Like that's kind of the game that I like to play is wait a minute, we can fix some of the things that we may lead up to in the future and never have that problem.
Right.
Diabetes, heart problems. You had a heart problem yourself, actually, that you dealt with.
Yes.
And you have
Yes.
another problem with your joints too that you're working on.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about that. So this is why you listen to us. You listen to us so that when you're 40, 50, 60, 70 years old, you're still moving like you're 25. That's what it comes down to. And
That's right.
also, we're the time hacker movement. And the time hacker movement is about figuring out how to leverage your time effectively so you can do the things that you really want to do. So back to that. Again, this is the first time I'm going to screw this up. I'm okay with screwing it up, and I'm going to learn along the way. So yeah, as you've gone through your journey and you're at your this is who Misty is. This is Misty's beginnings. Go ahead and continue.
Hey, I like it when it flows authentically because it's real and people appreciate real. But
Yeah.
anyway, by the time I was 40, I mean, I had a bunch of weird health issues go on pretty much my whole life, but they was always thought of to be something else. Now I'm almost 58. So, back in my day, you didn't run to the doctor for every little thing. So, when I was in my 40s, one day I was just making my bed, and all I can describe it is it felt like the bottom dropped out, and drove myself to the emergency room.
Mhm.
And they looked at me and they said, "You should have told us you was in congestive heart failure." And what was weird about that is the only thing I could say to them, but I never smoked because I didn't know what else to say.
Yeah.
And before a month was up, I was having to have life saving surgery in Vanderbilt because my mitral valve had literally split open inside my heart and I was drowning in my own blood, which the doctors thought was menopause coming on because I was in my 40s.
Wow.
So, anyway, so it started a heck of a journey. And like I said, I can't regret any of it because I am the person I am sitting here now because of all of it. But ended up, I was on like at some point 30 something pills a day, I think 36 pills a day, bedridden, couldn't do anything. The side effects from all the medicine was just, I think it was worse than the surgery itself. And I just knew there had to be a better way. I just had my first grandson. He was like 6 months old. And I just remember sitting there one day crying. And I was like, I'm never going to get to play with him. And I still feel emotional just even thinking, because it was that strong for me that I wanted to be able to help take care and raise my grandson, and play with him and do the things grandmas do. And I was like, I got to do something. I'm smarter than this. I can't go out like this. So I mean, thank God I basically got a first computer a few years before that. And I wasn't doing anything else. They deemed me disabled because not only my heart condition, but I am also legally blind.
Mhm.
Um, Dug deep into the internet and started teaching myself everything I could about natural remedies, about anything other than medication. A friend of mine introduced me to doTERRA, and it was over. I mean, that was it. That from the first touch of it on my body and me being pain free for even an hour, I knew that it was a product that I wanted to try. And once I got into it and started using it, within 7 years, like I'm down to 2 pills a day now. I, my prognosis for my heart was that within 10 years, I would have a complete heart transplant because my heart was so damaged from going untreated for so long. It's been 17. I haven't seen a cardiologist in 5.
Wow.
And I just, I'm all about the health and wellness. I mean, be proactive. Don't be reactive. Don't try to fix the symptoms. Find what's going on and fix the root cause of it all. Like
Yeah.
that's where doctors don't get the chance to do that. I don't blame them at all. But you have to find out what's causing the problem. Mine was a rogue gene, HLA B27, my best friend, my superpower.
Yeah.
And yeah, it causes multi-system failures all through your body. I mean, it's not just one thing, it's everything.
Wow. So you mentioned so after you had the procedure, the medication was worse than the procedure itself. So
Oh, it
what
was
what were you
terrible.
feeling with the medication? Like what were the problems with it?
Well, everybody knows you get one pill, you're going to get 3 pills because the side effects of one pill is going to make you have to have other ones, whether it causes nausea. So there you got to add something for the nausea. If it causes, headaches, then you got to take something for the headaches. And, there's the constipation, there's everything. Every medicine has so many side effects.
Hmm.
And then they thought that I needed antidepressants. So, there I go. And if the first one don't work, they go up these tiers because that's how insurance makes them do. you start out on the lowest level, and if that don't work, you could be trying seven or eight of these, and they just snatch you off of them and throw another one on you. And I
Mhm.
mean, I was just had no energy. I think I gained about 100 pounds, but yet I was having heart surgery. I mean, I was like, this don't make sense. They kept saying, well, you need to lose weight. And I was like, but the pill you're giving me causes weight gain. How does that work?
Yeah, yeah. Wow. That's like a tire with no traction, like, and
Yes.
telling you just accelerate, keep accelerating, you'll get there.
And that's what
That's
was going
crazy.
on.
Yeah, okay. And so after you had the procedure, after you went through that process and that nightmare, because that's what it kind of sounds like, a little bit of a nightmare, what transition did you make? Like, did you get away from the medication? Did you go cold turkey off the medication? Did you wean yourself off? How did you go about that?
Yeah. Well, at the time I went in and told my doctor, of course, doctors are not allowed to say this is okay. I know that. That's fine.
Hmm.
I went in and I took the supplements from doTERRA that I was going to start taking. And I said, I want to get off my medication. You're my doctor. I respect that. So I'm informing you, and this is what I want to start using. He's like, well, I can't tell you that. And I was like, well, you don't have to. I'm letting you know the information because I
Yeah.
respect you. This is my body and I'm doing this. I would
Hmm.
like for you to help me. I would have never just jumped off of any of those because with my research, there was a lot of those pills. I was on Klonopin. You
Hmm.
don't just stop taking Klonopin, you don't stop taking Nexium, or the stomach acid is going to basically feel like it kills you. I
Yeah.
mean, there was a lot of the medicines I was on the top tiers because most of them just didn't work for me. So you don't just jump off of them. No, definitely not.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you saying that, and I know it's always important to remind people, like, we're not medical professionals.
Yeah.
We're just speaking from our experience, from our truth. And at the same time, it's interesting too, because I'm not one to also say, oh, wow, this person has a certificate, they have a degree, so they know everything about everything. I think it's important to go to experts, but I also think it's important that you become an expert in your own body, in your own skin.
Mm-hmm.
I had my knee surgery and I did my research. Like, I wasn't going to be like, oh, well, the doctor's great. He knows what he's doing. So I
Yeah.
did my research and ultimately I came to the conclusion of what I was going to do. There's the risk and the reward. And I ended up going through the procedure, but it was from listening to the doctor and from asking the doctor questions. Sometimes we don't even think to ask questions. We get in there, we get seen, and then we're gone. And we're like, crap, I forgot to ask this, this, and this. So I actually tell people, like, put a list down of what it
Yep.
is, of your concerns, of what you're feeling, because sometimes you're gonna stump them, and not in a bad way, like, I got you, but in a way that says, oh, let me think about that. Both sides
Mm-hmm.
can think about that. So
Yeah.
yeah, I appreciate you sharing that. And as you went through your doTERRA process and you did wean yourself off appropriately, uh, what happened with everything as you were moving on that side of your journey?
Well, I started losing weight for one thing. Lots of the weight came off. I was able to move more. I started getting a lot more energy. My focus came back. Um, I mean, I tell everybody I put a drop of frankincense under my tongue every morning still, just because it just really brings the focus, in and just helps you get your day started. Um, I mean, I'm definitely not going to get into all the oils because that's way too much information. But it was a life changer. I was able to move. I was out of pain. The inflammation got handled very quickly. I was told I had fibromyalgia. At this point, I have no markers for that anymore.
Hmm.
And I think that was the most painful part of it. Like, I just couldn't move. I hurt every time I moved. And I just want to say the same doctor that I took that into, when he retired not too long ago, he told me, he said, I've got to admit, I didn't like what you brought to me. He said, but you need to keep doing it because it has definitely worked for you, because he saw me go off of all those medicines. He got the opportunity to see that before he retired.
Yeah. Well, respect to the
So
doctor for seeing that and
yeah,
understanding that and saying his part, because I get it as an expert. New things seem weird. If you're
yeah,
used to seeing things a certain way and doing things a certain way, and someone else is like, I want to try this way. And you're like, I don't know if this is a, but there is research backing everything. Like that's
yeah,
what people sometimes miss. And it can look, I'm one to look at the good and the bad of things and say in a network marketing world, people are going to try and push things down people's throat.
oh
That's part
yeah,
that's part of the game, and they'll say this will do this, this will do this,
yeah,
this will guaranteedly do this, and I don't really like playing in that murky water with people.
no,
I want someone to actually sit down, really listen to me, and give me tangible, movable things that I can attempt or choose to attempt. Choose to either say, "Oh yeah, I want to try," or "No, I don't want to try that." That's what it is. I think we need to guide one another a little bit more, and that's kind of part of my mission too, is to remind people to listen to each other and help
yeah,
each other move forward.
yeah. And that's one thing, like, I never once have offered a product to anyone before I knew it was effective. I knew that it was a good product. There was many products I have turned down. I mean, I
Mhm.
didn't, like get on there and say, "Oh, they're horrible products." That's not my place. But
Yeah,
I will not promote anything that I don't think is useful.
yeah. No, I
I'll
feel
just
you on
put it
that.
that way.
Well, that's why I get along with you well, because you actually you research the heck out of things that you give to people too, or you serve them with. So I 100% respect that. And so as you're moving on your journey and you're in that position, and now you're in a position of, all right, I finally got my health back. And when I say health back, like, did you feel 100% after your procedure and after getting off of the medication onto the oils? Do you feel better than you have before? Like, where are you at in this moment?
Well, the disorder I have, it's ankylosing spondylitis. I mean, it's a huge, like I said, it disrupts multi systems. I mean, I'm never going to be 100%, but
Hmm.
I do anything I want to do now. I mean, right now, sitting here, I'm with my family in Florida. I mean, I could have never done that when I first started, my
Hmm.
journey.
Yeah.
And it has been a journey. It was 17 years ago that I had my heart surgery.
Hmm.
And, you know, like I said, I haven't seen a cardiologist in 5 years because he just didn't see any reason. He, checked everything and he's like, everything is fine. Like
Hmm.
blood pressure, cholesterol, everything. Nothing is going on. So, health wise, I'm okay. Now, my body is always going to be broken down.
Yeah.
There's not going to be a whole lot of repair done to that because I'm fixing to be 58. So, I
Hmm.
mean, normal wear and tear is going to happen anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do anything I want pretty much. I mean, I go with my family, we walk for, I can walk through towns for an hour, and enjoy things. I couldn't do that really before that. So
Hmm. Yeah.
there is a
I
huge difference.
I love in the beginning you were talking about being proactive, and
Yes.
ultimately I always say we're like a form of proactive and reactive a little bit. Like as I went through my journey, I I'm pretty sure you saw I posted that I did yoga.
I
Holy
saw that.
crap. I didn't think that was going to be so. I knew it was going to be hard because I've done like bits and pieces of it, but now I'm going all in. I'm going all in, and the reason I'm going all in, I pulled my lower back, and I'm like, all right, this I'm not going into the I'm 41 now and I'm going to be pulling my back regularly. I went into proactive mode, and sometimes our proactive mode starts from a reactive place. We start focusing in on things a little bit more, and the reason I pulled my back was my flexibility isn't great. And
Yeah.
sometimes people are like, well, you're a fighter. Like, shouldn't you have great flexibility? Not necessarily. We just need to be flexible enough.
Yeah. And see, I get that because fighters, I mean, y'all's muscles are probably tighter than anybody's muscles.
They can be like it depends on each fighter. You know, they're all going to be different, but it's not like our to get to our result, it's not a flexibility contest. So we're not like, oh, we all have to be super
Right.
flexible and limber. It does help with injury though. And so I was flexible enough. But now I want to be at another level of flexibility because I want to keep my back safe. So whether you're being proactive from starting from a reactive state or even being proactive because you heard someone talk about something and you started focusing in on it like, oh wow, I've never really thought about that. Like even on the entrepreneurial journey, I talk about how important health is, not only in health of body but health of family too. Because as entrepreneurs, and this is another piece of your journey, like we can get in our own way. We can make it harder than it has to be and not not effectively do the things that move our business forward. And I guess I'll lead that to you because I know you are an entrepreneur. You have gone the health direction. You have a very holistic process to you. But did you see any big sticking points when you were going through that process? The truth is,
Well,
I already
first
know the
thing,
answer
yeah,
because I'm her
no,
coach.
the first thing was that
But
I never in my life, I worked as a waitress. I did all kinds of things. I managed restaurants. Never once did I think I would be selling anything. That was never anything in my mind. But,
Mhm.
the healthier I got, people, I mean, because, there was a lot of people that saw me and knew how bad off I was. And they was like, what are you doing? And,
Mhm.
it just got to the point to where it was like, it only made sense to start
Yeah.
sewing, and I found out that it was definitely my jam. I
Yeah.
loved it. I loved the excitement of it. I mean, all of it. Like I got to learn so much. I had an excuse to go and learn.
Yeah.
And it was just, yeah, I absolutely love it. But it was so hard to figure out who I was in that realm, like I was so new to it that I bounced from place to place to place. I had 5 or 6 products at one time and it all just was just crazy. It was chaotic and you know, thank goodness me and you met and you reined me in. You was like, look,
It's
shiny
funny
object
because
syndrome.
and the cool thing because I call myself the curious expert. Everybody has to rein everybody in because I start with big dreams. Like I said, like I'm like I'm gonna influence 1 billion people, and then I go to do the thing, and it's always harder than we thought it was going to be. Like every new thing we get into starts off like, crap, how am I gonna do that? And did I say that out loud? Yes, I did say that out loud. Now I got to get to work. Um, so yeah, we ring each other in. I always say, like, the coach learns from the pupil just as much as the pupil learns from the coach, and that's the fun of the journey.
Yeah. And the whole MLM thing, like I was new. I had no idea what MLM even stood for. And,
Uh,
all of these people was giving me all this crap about it. And I was like, and then I started thinking, oh, that's terrible. And now at this point, I'm just like, it's stupid. Like everybody is purchasing from MLM. If you
yeah,
think about it, if you're buying from Walmart, you're not, the person that that's checking you out, they're not getting the money. You know,
yeah,
money goes through layers too. So
yeah,
it don't
yeah,
make sense to think like, I know that there's people out there that do it the wrong way, and that's what gives it a bad name. Is because there's people out there that do it completely the wrong way. Um, Me, I do it as a personal standpoint. I do it as I'm the person you're buying from.
hmm,
That's my product that I choose to use because it's the best product. But you're shopping with me, and I
yeah,
give guarantees that other places ain't gonna give you.
hmm,
I'm going to give you that 24-hour service. You know that.
yeah, yeah,
I go above and
100%,
beyond. I'm
yeah,
going to educate on the product that I'm selling you only because that's important too. How many times have we bought stuff and it's sit on the shelf because we really didn't know what to do with it?
yeah,
That
yeah.
don't
No,
make
that's very
sense to
true.
me.
Yeah, that's very true. Like I look at we sometimes the best saying that comes to mind is throw the baby out with the bathwater, and it's just like this part is bad, so therefore it's all bad. and I always look at the layers to things, and that's always been fun for me on my journey to look at the layers behind how to move people forward, how to get people to be proactive, essentially is what you're saying. And
Yeah.
so in your proactive state, like, okay, so we got a little idea of where you were, we got a
Mhm.
little idea of where you're at. So now where are you going? What are you looking to accomplish on your journey?
About a year ago, I bought a piece of property, and in the near future, am going to have a wellness center. I want to do a lot of outreach, education, to teach people about not only health and wellness, but business practices concerning that, because there is so much out there that's just untrue about it. It don't have to be ucky, like you can love people and you can sell products.
Hmm.
Selling products is not a bad thing. It takes money to give to people. It takes money to uh, buy the product you need to keep yourself well. If you're not well, you can't help anyone else. So
Right.
I just want to get people over that hump of thinking money is a bad thing.
Mm,
I want to show them that there is a better way to set up businesses. I want people who are disabled to know that you can still do things. I want people my age to know your life is not over.
yeah,
You could do anything you want at 58.
I
Like,
love it.
stop thinking that because you're 58 you're done and you're going to go just sit there and watch TV. That's no. That's not how I'm going out.
I love it. And by the way, so one thing I do is I take what people say and hold on to it and use it when I have to. So she knows I'm going to use that on her if I ever have to.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'll hear that
Because our
again one
minds,
day.
our minds will get in our way sometimes. They do, where
Yep.
they're just like, well, I don't know how I'm going, Misty. Remember this.
Yeah.
Remember that. So let me ask you this question. So, well, thank you for taking us through your journey. And since this is like the time hacker movement, figuring out how do we get our time back, you got 58 years of experience. You've gone through your journey. What's one big time hack that you can give to people going through their journey, going through their process?
The MBB product.
MBB?
Yeah,
Okay,
you've
awesome.
got to have tools and services. You can't do everything. I don't care how smart you are, you cannot do everything. You've got to have tools that will help you um, be productive. I mean, that's just that you can't fit it all in a day unless you have tools and systems in place to help you do all of that.
Amen.
If you do, you're going to not do it well because you're trying to do too much. So do it the right
100%.
way and get the proper tools to help you get it done.
100%. Well, I talk about, so she's basically promoting my product right now. I didn't tell her to do this, by the way. So it's just like,
No, but I mean,
ultimately, um, we have something called the MBB Accelerator, and it's a program, and it consists of coaching, consulting, and also an MBB assistant. So it's basically your own customized virtual assistant. But let me give everybody one hack that they can use to move their time forward, because this one's really helped me along the way. Um, and you're actually doing it right now, right? So it's a brain dump. And in this brain dump, you literally just write everything that you need to get done, everything that you need to get done. And then there's sectors that you go into, but you say like, okay, is this something I really need to get done? Or is this something that I've just gotten used to doing? Because we're a product of our habits. We get really used to our habits. And the cool thing about habits is if we can create one, that means we can also uncreate one and create new ones. And that's the game that I like to play. Is just saying like, look, we're all doing the best that we can with the beliefs, the tools, and the resources that we have along the way. And I know people 100% can manage themselves because you can't really manage time. Like I tell people, that's the funny piece of the time hacker community is you can't manage time, but you can manage yourself. And when you learn how to manage yourself effectively, even if that's bringing in outside sources, because as you know, Mama Misty, you have an outside source in me and in Curtis, and I have outside sources as well. Um, because I know left to my own devices, it just
Well,
wouldn't be a good thing for
yeah, ever
anybody.
since I've met you, I've told you, like every time that you've ever asked me what I needed, it was always a system, some sort of system to
Yeah.
help me organize everything. Because, when you are doing, I guess, so many different things, something's going to get left out. If
Yeah.
you have the proper system, nothing gets left out. Nothing, is gone forever, and maybe you just can't find it. You've erased it or you've done something. But
Hmm.
yeah, you don't have to ask me to promote things that are good. Like I said, if I find a good product, I have
No,
no
that's
issue promoting it.
well, that's the other thing that I do love about you. You're a natural networker. Like that's what you do is you come from a place of supporting other people. That's why we resonate so well. Is because it's not about you. It's more about them and you want to create a win-win, right? Like everybody obviously wants to create a
Yep.
win-win, but I'm in the same boat where I actually had to learn my own lessons along the way, and I'll share my story some other time. But we're all learning here. We're all growing. We're all figuring it out, and we're all making mistakes, and that's okay. We're all having a human experience, trying to be the very best that we can be within the human experience that we're having. And I always say like, what's a person's biggest dream? Because when they know what their dream is, they just have to know it first. When they know it, they have a chance to get to it. And that's another time hack. Just sit down and ask yourself, what do I want to become? And why do I want to become it? But thank you, Mama Misty. And I also want to ask, so how can people get a hold of you? How can they support you? What can they do to help them move forward or even just have a conversation with you?
Well, I'm always asking for information. As far as, I love people to get on there and tell me different situations that's going on with them, because it helps me know where the need is greatest, I guess you'd say. Because
Mhm.
there is so many health situations that I do want to figure out, like, where do I need to focus my attention the most. I'm on Facebook, essentially Misty Blue. You'll It's easy to find. I don't think there's another one on there. And yeah, message me if you need to. We can put my information in the comments or whatever.
Awesome. Perfect. Well, I will do that. And Mama Misty, appreciate you as always. Appreciate anyone who tuned in. Appreciate you too. Now, I'm pretty sure there's a comment section, and I couldn't see it because I'm on the Zoom, but
Yeah.
I'm living and learning as I'm going through the process. So I might just do the next live outside of Zoom and just on YouTube. We'll see what it turns into. You know, I got some cool stuff coming along. So if you like this or if you like any of the content, I'm going to be doing a bunch of different content, but it's really to support entrepreneurs living their greatest life and getting their time back. So, Mama Misty, appreciate you as always. Appreciate all of you. And you all have an amazing day. Now, before we leave, Mama Misty, do you have one thing that you would like to share with the audience?
I never want anyone to be in the place I was in, and I can help you not be in that place. So just give me that chance.
I love it. All right, superstar. All right, everybody. You have an amazing day, and I will talk to you later.
Bye, coach.
Take care.